Good morning, Indianapolis. Getting dressed party. Crazy night last night in the hotel room with Pomelo. Yeah. There. Good morning.
Hi, baby.
All right, ready to go?
Hi.
That's what I said, it's childproof.
Yeah.
Hey, remember, can I give him one of your blueberries? Sure. Yeah, okay. Thank you.
I asked them if they had Tabasco. They only had sriracha and ketchup for my omelet. And then Memory pulled this out of her pocket.
He pretends to fall.
Yeah, come on. The thing that they don't always tell you is that traveling with a baby is pretty tough because they require all this gear and all this equipment. Coffee gear, camera gear, Pomelos, camera gear, cigar, camera gear, drone, but, see? Look at this. All these extra things to have to think about with a baby. Yesterday we ran into problems not being able to find a stir stick in here, but today we planned ahead. Before you guys give me for bringing our own coffee into Starbucks. First of all, it's kind of attached to our hotel and we're paying good money for the hotel. Second of all, look at that. It's actually a Starbucks brand French press. So they got their money from us either way. Take you up in boom, 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 boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream. And I ding dong, plans would come true. And I ding dong, my whole life loving you. The reason why we are in Indianapolis is because starting around October, I started to compile a list of things that we were learning about ourselves from either counseling or hearing from friends about patterns and ways that we have hurt people in our life. We decided to write letters of apology to all those people. There's about like 15 things that we're apologizing for. These are just 3 that I'm going to share. We crossed boundaries and spoke into aspects of people's lives when we weren't invited into them, or when it wasn't wise or appropriate. We made judgments about the value and importance of other people's callings when it differed from ours. You know, I think we were insecure about our calling, so when people decided to do something different, we felt like offended and hurt by that. And we looked down on people and really tried to fix them because we thought we were better than them or had it figured out. And there's 16 people so far that we're apologizing to in really this first wave, and I think there's going to be more and more things. We knew that this was going to be a hard thing. It was going to take a lot of focus and a lot of energy, so we decided to go away to do that. So we planned a retreat. This was a couple weeks back, and we got here 2 days ago, and yesterday was the hard work day. That was the day when we really like put out all the people that we needed to apologize to and wrote them all their names on a list and all the things, and it took, I don't know how many hours, a long time. And we just finished writing all the letters today.
Once we figured out what we needed to apologize for, it was a lot easier. Still hard, but yesterday was the real hard work.
And this work was really important. That's why we decided it's worth getting away for. It's worth finding an environment that motivates us just to get it done. And we decided to bring Memory and Eden to help with the baby because we're not ready to leave the baby alone yet. So we got them their own room, and they've been watching the baby while we've been working.
Do you want to dance, Rainier? Dance, dance. Dance, dance, While Rainier was taking a nap, I've been making these little pillows out of these like shoe shining things. Here's one for Filia, and I'm making one for my dad. It's a bag with these little sewing kits that come in the bathrooms.
Take you up in boom, boom, bosh, boom, boom. Tell me I'm the only one that you love. Life could be a dream, sweetheart. Life could be a dream.
The baby's awake. We'll come up. He's not really cranky. He's just like
Hi.
snuggling. And not really, Emery's playing with him. Shots, but
Indianapolis is actually a really cool city. We've really enjoyed it. We came here for our anniversary this year, and it's like 2 hours from our house. There's a ton of cool stuff like historical monuments and just awesome looking things like that. A bunch of cool restaurants. It's pretty affordable. Like we got 4.5-star hotel room for $70 a night, and everything's within walking distance. You can bike and walk. It's super pedestrian and biker friendly.
I like how close it is to our home, but yet it still feels away enough for something like this.
Dang it, this cannot be good. This is the drone. This is the camera that used to be attached to the drone. Look at those wires. This is the battery that used to be attached to the drone. That's all broken. Dang it! That was $1,000 landing right there.
Dad, do you have like drone?
Oh, I was going too fast. No, I don't have drone insurance. I'm pretty sure that was the worst building to fly a drone into in the entire city of Indianapolis and probably the state of Indiana. So evidently this is federal property. No gambling, no narcotics, alcohol, breastfeeding. Evidently flying drones into federal courthouses is a big deal.
You guys got driver's license on you?
Yeah.
Okay.
In order of fear, my first fear was I didn't really want to go to jail. My second fear was that I was going to lose the footage that was on the drone. And the third one...
I was afraid we were going to get a big fat ticket.
But he said that he's not going to give us a ticket.
And Ben's not going to jail. Or me, because he took my license too. For a minute there, I thought our kids would be parentless.
He said, you guys won't do this again, will you? And I said, no, sir. This was the last...
the kids out. It's freaked.
Oh yeah, that was kind of sad. It kind of freaked Eden especially out, so I had to apologize. That was a disaster. Enough about that. We can order new drones, no problem. We are getting ready to put the finishing touches on these letters. This was the whole reason why we took this retreat and a special time away, was to get in this mindset and this zone of trying to accomplish this very difficult and super important task in our life. We sent the rough drafts off to our counselor therapist this morning, and we got feedback already, and it was really encouraging. I wanted to share how this process came about, because it's a very unnatural process. It's not something we would normally just be like, oh, hey, we're going to go back into our past and apologize to all these people. But
figure out what,
But I think we've seen a lot of people get hurt in relationships around us, and we were really wanting to know why. And there was also things in my relationship with God where I felt like there's just like a barrier, and it's just like, oh, I can't go any further, and things start to feel a little stale and dry and old, and I'm just like wanting to know, what can I do? And while I don't have answers to that, I knew that this was one thing I could do, which is to make things right in the best way I know how for my past. So that's what kind of gave us the motivation. And I just want to mention a few resources we had. One was friends providing feedback, and we're trying to get better at listening to that. The second is my sponsor from 12-step groups, and the third is just this counseling and therapy that we've been going through has been so helpful in actually diagnosing problems for us. If any of you guys are thinking about doing something like this, I just wanted to read this. This is some 12-step literature that was valuable to us, and we read it yesterday before getting started. Some of us put off step 8 because we were fearful. We soon realized, however, that we ought to fear the consequences of not working step 8 or not making the amends, such as remaining a prisoner to our shame. So we surrendered our self-centered fears and took the necessary action. And that's something we're learning. It's one thing to say I love you, but one of the things I really like about, you guys hear us referencing 12-step material like from Alcoholics Anonymous or Sexaholics Anonymous, is it's not overly spiritual in terms of words. It's just like all about action. And I really struggled with a lot of the religious communities I heard about growing up. Yeah, because I heard about things like love, and I heard about things like confession and apologies, but I never really saw people actually doing that really much. And then it says, some of us were convinced that people on our amends list actually owed us amends. Step 8 told us to focus on the harm we had done and become willing to make amends for that. So it's easy, in a lot of our relationships, there's hurt both ways. We're hurt too. And that prevented us from making apologies for a long time because we're like, well, we're going to wait for them. And finally we realized for us, not owning our part and being humble in our part, it's actually toxic for us. And we're going to do our step regardless if other people do theirs. Then it says, although we might get a positive response from others, we did not make amends in order to obtain forgiveness or approval. We made amends because the process was critical to our recovery or our relationship with God. And that's another thing. It's real easy for us to think, oh man, if we don't do this right or in this certain way, well, they're not going to respond. Well, this is saying we're going to do our best to deliver the truth, and their response doesn't matter in a way to our spiritual growth. It's actually about us and God. And then finally it says, we hurt others out of self-will and self-centered fear. And that's something, you know, I've heard of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And, you know, we've said that so many damn times as church people. But really, a lot of the people that have been hurt in my life, I think, are evidence that my will was being done. And at the end of the day, it doesn't get more simple or complicated than that. And the prayer is for God's will to be done. And that's hard. It's not a one-time thing.
His will to oversee our own will.
We have to surrender our will all the time, and it's so unnatural. And this is part of that. So we're going to finish these letters.
We are done with all of our work for this weekend. So now all we have left to do is just to relax.
Do you guys ever feel like the times when you expect and want sex to be the most epic, it's not? You know, on like holidays, or I guess Valentine's Day is tomorrow, and I'm like, get my hopes up. And it seems like it's the most difficult of those time periods. Like there's like a lot of pressure.
Well, today was one of those.
We connected a lot this weekend, physically, even just like we brought this massage oil that worked out pretty good. I gave her like really long massages. I'm not very good at that kind of stuff.
Not true anymore.
I'm turning over a new leaf. And we really got this hard work done, coming to grips with our own unhealth and immaturity and actions that have caused other people pain. I'm really excited about that because to me what it means is a different future. So we're trying to focus on, even though, you know, even our sexual experience we had was in a way like a failure, and in a lot of ways, even a lot of this process feels like a failure. We're trying to celebrate and not be too hard on ourselves. Crashing the drone into federal courthouse is a failure. $1,000 failure, made my daughter cry. That drone was for this vacation that we're going to in 2 weeks. And I didn't even make it to the vacation.
I would not. I think I would have crashed it the first time I flew it. But Ben lasted. But you lasted a month of flying it, and you're learning, and you didn't know how to. I don't know. I'm super impressed by.
Thanks, babes.
You. And it's okay.
We're going out to dinner to celebrate tonight with the kids because they put a lot out in watching the baby.
Mama?
Mama? Hi! You ready to go?